There's a question that's been brewing in me for a couple weeks now, and it's one I think it's time to bring to the attention of the masses. Who is the better short-haired waifu, Aoi or Chise? On the one hand, Aoi has a very relatable character, is very fun to watch when she does stuff, and has genuinely been able to bring a lot of life to Vrains for a lot of people. On the other hand, though, Chise is a redhead. We all know me likes the redheads. On top of that, she also has a very tragic character, still has a sense of likability to her, and this relatability sense to her, considering she's stuck about to marry a weird skeleton man. I know many of you probably have this same dilemma as I, and let me know, and reach out to those in the comment section below. As for the actual episode itself, this was good. Brought up one or two things I kind of was expecting, kind of wasn't. The big thing I really took away from this was those two scientist people, the Knights of Hanoi, who are really causing destruction, and I like the idea that they're not really good, they're not really evil, they're in this middle, and the show never tries to really paint them totally one way or another. Yes, their goal is we want to protect Revolver. We helped raise him. We treat him as if he's one of our own type thing. But they still created a computer virus that is turning basically everyone into a lab rat and putting them in a crazy coma so that way they can catch the guy who wants to stop the evil bad guys. I really appreciate that. It's not a very long scene, but it's very important because it also sets up kind of this sense of emotion when you get into the duel between her and Aoi. These two remind me of, I forget their names, the Bouncer and the Butterspy people from Zale. I really liked these two, but they weren't particularly deep or anything. They did good with them, but these two have this sort of, because we know what they're after, we know what they want, it very much gives them a much more grounded and relatable feel. So when we go into this duel, yes, obviously we're rooting for Aoi to win. You still kind of feel something for who she's inevitably going to be. Come on, Trickstars ain't losing to whatever this shit is. And as for Aoi, I quite like that. First up, I loved the bit where Emma drove past her in the motorcycle, said, "Let's talk," and I was like, I don't want any part of this shit. Like, she figured by now this person's probably no good, and essentially, Aoi just talks to her because she's being blackmailed. I like that scene. It's interesting that the two female characters in this, well, you got three now, but the two major ones, you have this sort of contrast, whereas both of them have a goal. Both of them want something. But both of their goals are very opposite. Emma is for herself. She only does things because it's what she wants, and she only does things for her. Aoi is the opposite in the sense where, yes, she wants something, but she also wants to be there for her brother, and she's having feelings of wanting to help people and protect people, and not really sure how to think of that. And having these two people on screen for the same time and talk to each other is really important because it kind of puts things into a perspective of what Aoi is feeling and what it sort of means. A innate desire to help, meeting someone who has an innate desire to not do anything, and calling Aoi out on how, you know, essentially what she was doing before was for a very selfish goal. I mean, obviously, just being Blue Angel to win over Akira's attention and just sort of seeing how, well, I got that, so do I really need to be this person anymore? It's almost kind of meta statement on sort of the, for those of you who don't know, in screenwriting, there's always been the issue of with female characters that a female character just is male character centric. Like, she just revolves around wanting to do something for a male character. Usually a love interest or a family member also falls into this category as well, and Yugioh hasn't always been innocent of this. See Alexis from GX, for examples. But it's interesting, she's sort of evolving and growing past as she grows and develops with everyone else. Like, she is also getting that desire Go has to want to help people, and that desire Yusaku has to fight, but she's feeling it differently. Like, she sort of is thinking about things differently, and it's really sort of neat to see how the ultimate conclusion she comes to is to help people, but it's it doesn't feel as sort of forceful or masculinely charged as Go or Yusaku. Again, very different because this is a very different character. She needed that extra push, and she needed to come to this conclusion on her own terms, not just join the other two, which is very neat. As for the duel itself, I quite liked it. It's obviously very short. It's a two-parter, but I like the mummy deck. It's cool. We haven't really seen anything with mummies in a while. I know I'm saying a lot this week. It's been kind of a weird week for me. Anyways, I like the idea that they address Aoi's fear of being imprisoned again. I like the idea that they address the consequences that came with that. She does have this fear, and that fear probably also came into effect why she wouldn't fight back at first, but this duel is very important to her because it seems though she wants to get that power back. She needs that level of strength, and she has to confront what she's afraid of. She needs to confront the person responsible for this, and it's going to be better for her in the long run. And I like sort of this virus deck type thing. It's cool to see Temple of the Kings again. That's a very old card and was very meta relevant for a very long time, so that's very cool to see. And I like the idea that A, she's backed to a corner, and B, it is about how is she going to stand up to this. We saw that sort of what was it like for her in a coma, being in that darkness, and sort of seeing and feeling how she has to overcome it. It was a really neat episode. I really kind of like the fact that it gave more context to things. I like the fact it tried to do things. I like the little scene of Kusunagi being nice to Yusaku and being very parental. I like the sort of touch that every time we show one side of being like a parent or something, like we saw with those two scientists. This was after the scene with Yusaku and someone being a parent to him. We sort of see that contrast of caring for people and how that can affect us, how that can be positive and how it can result in something negative, because obviously these two probably won't have a happy ending, realistically. What do you think? In the comment section below, give me your thoughts on this episode, where you think it's going, if you're excited to see Aoi Duel. And as for this week's TCG question of the week, no point talking about the E-Ban list, we already did that. This morning, we were revealed a Metal Foes link. Yay, because that's a deck I really wanted to see more cards for. And it's the Pendulum support link. In the same way Cristrons are generic Synchro support, this one is generic Pendulum support. We'll most likely see a generic Fusion support and a generic Xyz support and a generic Ritual support. I'm kind of disappointed though. I was really hoping my boys the Ignites would get the Pendulum one. I would have rather, if you're gonna give Metal Foes a link, give them the Fusion one. Like, seriously. But so be it. Do you want to see an Ignite link? Do you think this is a cool link? Or however you feel. And as always, click to like and click to subscribe, and well, let's see how Aoi does.